Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yo, if you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action, speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, we want to thank the advisor, for making these photographs available without any desecration or plastering his logo over the photos as if, he owns the right to it, as some others on YouTube have done. So, we want to, let him know that we appreciate, him making these photographs publicly available to help the audience, to get a visual of what the victims look like. So you're looking at the notorious drug dealer, Frawty. So he killed these women because they gave away, the punani or pum pum, how you want to call it. Also he sent gunmen to kill Roger Deacon. Deacon was killed 3 days before Frawty was killed. And Deacon used to work for Frawty. That there's so many bodies, stacked up when it comes down to Frawty, yes, you understand. So who was Frawty? Samuel Dixon, aka Frawty, was presented publicly as a successful businessman owning gas stations, car marts and auto parts stores. But behind this facade, his main source of wealth was running drugs. He was a big coke dealer. Others said that then he got involved in the gun for drug trafficking network operating between Colombia, Haiti and Jamaica. But Frawty gained his wealth through the coke dealing. And as I stated before, this man was brought to my attention in the early 1990s whilst I was at Huntsby, courtesy of a man here, Harry Bungles. Yes, at the time Harry Bungles, when he was the super at Huntsby, when he was, handing out gun license to, people who do a certain background, but that he made millions, got rich from it. And he uses power to, and that's how many men from Portland and the eastern part of Jamaica, Huntsby was their place where they get the firearm license, courtesy of Arabongos. As I said before, Arabongos don't keep friends with law-abiding citizens. No, Arabongos is a criminal at heart. and mind and action. I'm telling you, I work with the man. So Frawty, yeah man, so Frawty, he uses his business, to as money laundering funds. But he was well connected politically and with the elites. He wasn't that educated, but he knows 1 and 1 equals 2. You can't mess with him with money. And he had a luxury Beechcraft, 5,000 boat, worth over 800,000 US based on information received and obtained from police in Port Antonio. Yes, and they said that this boat used to transport marijuana and out of Jamaica to Haiti and return with high-powered weapons. And he recruited young men from Portland to assist in these operations. So, Frawty now, you have this girl named Melissa Query. So Frawty a big man, So he was in a relationship with Melissa Query. And that was in August 9th, 2017. So boy, she come check him at the gas station. That's 2 days prior before she disappeared. And at one of Frawty gas station, and boy, the man see a icky on her neck. And them have an argument, and must say, wait, me I take care of you and I'm thinking, and you give her the thing. You can't do that, man. I mean, alone supposed to bite you upon, you understand? So, she got angry and she trashed the counter. So, him send her down to Rocky Point, Clarendon, and some business. Never to be seen again. Family report are missing, but myself, them Frawty's a man, were connected to the police. So nobody even try to use the police to question him. And if the police them question him, in Jamaica, it's not like back in my time. In Jamaica now, you cannot question a suspect without them attorney. So criminals have all the protection ever, you understand? Yes, you can't even ask them, you cannot ask them questions without their attorneys, even if you read them Miranda. That's not how it works in Jamaica anymore. You have to, so the criminals in Jamaica, them have more rights now, more than law-abiding citizens. So she left and for Clarendon and never to be seen again, never to be found. But they strongly believe that she was murdered. She was murdered on Frawty's order. The man in a play, So 5 years later, him love the dolly them, When we say dolly, we are talking, there's nothing about these women that are natural. Ear, makeup, all kind of things. Some of them, if them, walk and no me, you walk and rain start and wake them up. You swear say a dopey, you watch a dopey movie and them thing there. Cause this makeup thing, that's why you call them dolly. Change ugly to beautiful. So then you have Jennifer Swell. December 3rd, boy, she was killed at a car wash. Yeah man, she was involved with Frawty too. And guess what? Boy, Frawty realized boy she give her the pum to the punish. So him say, oh no. So the man has some men baby weak mentally. And he's suspected of several former associates skimming money from him and attempting to branch out independently. As a result, he orchestrated revenge shooting. So him shot him, them shot the real man January 26, 2024. 2025. Across Island Grill in Ocho. Him survived. Then you have Sparkles, that's a Delroy banner. He was shot 6 days later, February 1st, 2025, at a pre-birthday bash near his home, and him survived. So both men, them used to work for Frawty, and them believe say Frawty is the man who's behind their shooting. So then they have the confirmed killings orchestrated by Frawty, Albert Bugsy Lindsay, where they have video about that he was killed March 24, March. That was of March 2025 in Portland. And him shot in at the front of the gate by men fixing a motorbike. We have the photograph of the killer. We'll share that video with you hopefully before the week ends. You understand? Because we have the photograph of the killer with him rifle. He's a guy who come from Slow Hill. You understand? And police have been trying to apprehend this man. So after all of these killings, and Frawty himself was ambushed and killed in Towile, St. Mary, outside his home. Yeah, man, and boy, police them find 86 spent shell casing. So it was three weapons them using. Them use a M16, a 40 caliber, and a 9mm pistol. So you know, say a three gunmen and a driver, 4 of them. So it was a message that intent to send. It was personal because them shot him over 70 times. The police them account whole until the man them have to take picture, use them phone and take picture other side and I just saw it go. So Frawty was a drug pig masquerading as a businessman who left a trail of blood from women who defied him to farmer employees who dare to operate independently. Women allegedly killed Melissa, Jennifer, and many target. So Frawty was ultimately hunted down and executed in a retaliatory strike likely coordinated by some people that say survivors or relatives of those he killed. His reign ended the same way he ruled, violently. So I can tell you that so these are another theory that they're saying, that contribute to his death, apart from the contract killing by the Colombians, because Frawty brought them foot. A regular thing where in a drug street people will get them foot broke. So, and we have done a video about that. That shortly after he was killed, we were able to, as usual, we get the information solid. As we tell you already, so the phone is a two-way radio and then it leads from one thing to the other. So far, we haven't confirmed, but we know that three people who were involved in the killing of Frawty have been killed by the police. But yes, the killers who have killed Frawty, they are all dead. But we want to make sure we confirm before we do anything about that. So to this date, Melissa Creary's body has not been recovered, and she has not been seen by anyone since August 9th, 2017. A date now etched in the memories of those who knew her. She vanished without a trace after boarding a vehicle allegedly to conduct business on behalf of the now deceased underworld figure, Frawty. Yeah man, that is Samuel Dixon. So while there is no direct evidence officially linking Frawty to her disappearance, every Jamaican with street sense and intuition and understand the unwritten truth, Melissa didn't just vanish into thin air. In a country where silence is often a survival tool and justice is sometimes buried deeper than the body, the circumstantial evidence is more than compelling, it's damning. Just 2 days before Melissa disappeared, an argument unfolded at one of Frawty's gas stations. According to eyewitnesses, yes, and Frawty noticed what he believed was a icky on Melissa's neck. The confrontation escalated in a fit of rage and humiliation. Melissa reportedly swept items off the counter near the cashier and stormed out, leaving Frawty fuming. That was the last time anyone saw her. Because in a Jamaican men's psyche, they believe say once they must spend on a woman, them own the woman. So anything what the woman do, she have to get the approval of him. But what I understand is that the woman's body is hers and she's free to do what she wants to do, but that's not how it works in Jamaica. Once a man starts to sleep with you and he mind you, a typical Jamaican thing, well, once that happens, then you are his property, and if you do anything otherwise, you can lose your life. I can't believe it's an investment, but they're so, they're just stupid. So that was the last time anyone saw her. Yeah, man, after Melissa swept items off near the cashier and storm out, leaving Frawty fuming. So this wasn't just a lover's quarrel. It was a dangerous spark in the orbit of a man known to eliminate those who crossed him. Frawty wasn't an ordinary businessman because the curtains of his legitimate businesses, gas station, car marts, and auto parts outlets, lay an empire built on guns, drugs, and fear. He was deeply embedded in the guns and drug trade, spanning Haiti and Jamaica. One thing we know that he was good for is the coke. He's a big coke dealer. And he had the resources, ruthlessness, and reach to make people disappear without a whisper. Yeah, so, this is the channel that we have been telling you about. United we win, divided we lose. A call to action for all decent, ethical, and truth-seeking people. Brothers and sisters, let's speak some truth. Division has always been the weapon of the wicked. The ultimate tragedy used by corrupt governments, dishonest leaders, and power-hungry manipulators. They divide to conquer. They pit communities against each other. They turn neighbors against neighbor, tribe against tribe, race against race, because they know the terrifying power we hold when we are united under truth, justice, and purpose. That's why united we win, divided we lose. It's not just a slogan, it's a movement, a philosophy, a rallying cry for every decent, ethical, and truth-loving soul on this planet. We are all calling on you to be a part of something greater. This is not just another YouTube channel. This is an international platform that transcends borders, cultures, and languages. It reaches across ocean and finds its way into the hearts, homes, and minds of people like you. People who refuse to be manipulated. People who are hungry for truth. And people who stand for what is right, even when it's not popular. We believe in what is right, not who is right. That's what it's all about. So we expose what others are afraid to even whisper. So this channel reach across oceans and find its way into the hearts and minds of people like you, people who refuse to be manipulated. So we expose what others are afraid, because they themselves are afraid. We uplift voices that have been silenced. We connect the dots, several, reveal the agendas and show the patterns behind the lies that the mainstream buries. We cannot do it alone. Your subscription is more than just a click. It's a declaration that you are no longer asleep, that you refuse to be divided, that you see the power in unity, that you are choosing truth over propaganda, ethics over corruption, courage over silence. So I am personally inviting you, subscribe to United We Win, Divided We Lose channel, a home for truth seekers, the whistleblowers, the freedom fighters, and those who still believes in values and virtues and in victory through unity. Because remember, evil thrives when good people are silent and divided. But when we unite, we win, always. So join the movement, click, subscribe, and select all, and let your voice be counted among the courageous. You must get burned. You understand? So Jamaica, seeing this pattern before, powerful men with dark connections cloaked in respectability, leaving trails of grief and unsolved cases. Melissa's disappearance fit this pattern like a puzzle piece soaked in blood. Nobody, no closure. But too many signs pointed to one man, Frawty. In the hearts of many Jamaicans, Melissa is already counted among lost souls whose lives were swallowed by a system that too often fails to protect its daughters from predators in suit and tinted SUVs. Her family deserve answers. Jamaica deserve the truth. Until then, her name must not be forgotten. Melissa Creary is not just a missing person. She's a symbol of what happened when power, criminality, and impunity collide. So Jennifer Swale, the other woman now, was a brilliant young woman. Look like Dolly, you see it, whole heap of falls here. Everybody wants to be white or Indian. and them nobody don't want to embrace them African ancestry. And for no say they are the kings, they are the queens of the earth, but them don't want that. They want to be the dolly, the laughing stock. Everybody laugh and say, boy, them fake. And them not have no self-esteem. It's not like back in the days like of my mother. Them have them ear and them proud to wear it, whether in an afro or they must wear it, trim it or plait it. But we in a different era where they make black people make other people impose their culture on us and what is right for our women, in which it's not. So Jennifer Swale was a vibrant young woman whose life was abruptly and brutally stolen by the gunfire of heartless men in Linstead, St. Catherine. Her murder was not random, nor was it an act of mistaken identity. It was deliberate, calculated, and by all accounts, deeply personal. On December 3rd, at less than that 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks of Christmas, 2022, Jennifer was visiting family members at a car wash, a place she should have felt safe, surrounded by people she loved. But safety is an illusion. When your name is whispered in the orbit of powerful men with dark past and dangerous egos, while at a car wash, gunmen pounce on her without warning. In a hail of bullets, her light was extinguished in broad daylight. The car wash, reportedly operated by her relatives, became a crime scene, soaked in blood and trauma. Her killing sent shockwave through the community. But for those who knew the kind of company Jennifer kept, particularly her romantic involvement with Frawty, better known as Samuel Dixon, for her death, though tragic, did not come as a complete surprise. Frawty, who paraded it publicly as a businessman, was in fact a known underworld figure with ties to the gunsa drug trade, and the man they big in the coke, the man they a big coke dealer. So he operate between Colombia, Haiti and Jamaica. Fisherman do all them things there, We as Jamaican growing up, we used to, stay far from the Asian them because based on their history, not of them being freedom fighter, but them being evil to each other, we were taught as Jamaican to stay far from them because these are not people who have loyalty. These are people you will feed and then them cut off your head. So we know that from growing up, so we stay, but corruption or our fishermen them all about destruction and destroying black lives. Became friends with these people and started to trade all donkey meat and jugs of guns to bring back for kill Jamaicans. And then you have Jamaican for Justice that out there defending these people. But Frawty's web of criminal enterprise was vast, and those within his inner circle often lived under an invisible but constant threat. Once you were close to Frawty, especially as a woman, you were playing with fire, and Jennifer and Melissa got burned in the worst way possible. Sources close to the situation suggest that Frawty's paranoia and control issues were notorious. He didn't just deal in drugs and guns. He dealt in ownership. Women who enter his life romantically were not partners, they were possessions. And when he suspect betrayal, real or imagined, his response was often swift and final. Although no one has been charged in Jennifer's murder, the investigation remains officially open. The streets have already spoken, the whispers are loud. Frawty ordered it, whether it was due to jealousy, revenge, or fear that Jennifer knew too much and might talk. What is widely believed is that her life was taken under his instruction, just like Melissa Creary, who vanished without a trace years earlier. Jennifer Swale's death is another chapter in the tragic story of a woman entangled with powerful criminal men in Jamaica. It's a stark reminder that behind the glamour and the gifts, behind the tinted glass and luxury lifestyle, lies a brutal reality where love can turn lethal. So we owe Jennifer more than whispers and candlelight vigils. Her name, like Melissa, must be etched into the collective memory of a nation that cannot afford to forget what happened when crime is allowed to masquerade as wealth and murder is covered up with silence. So the cold-blooded murder of Roger Deacon stands as yet another chilling testament to Frawty's demonic disregard for human life. It wasn't just a killing, it was an execution. Lace. Yes, execution. Lace. With betrayal, paranoia and unchecked power. Frawty, known publicly as a businessman but feared privately as a drug and gun trafficking kingpin, showed once again that loyalty meant nothing to him unless it was eternal and questioning servitude. So like when people are slave. So Roger Deacon, a young man from Reach, Portland, was once a trusted associate of Frawty. He managed trafficking routes between Colombia, Haiti and Jamaica, overseeing the dangerous transshipment of drugs and guns, an enterprise that made Frawty rich and deadly. But like many who get close to monsters, Roger made the fatal mistake of trying to break free. After years of working under Frawty's thumb, Roger had started his own operation. He was determined to make something of it for himself, independent of the man whose shadow loom over his past. Frawty saw this not as an ambition, but as treachery. Break the code. In his twisted world, no one left the empire alive, especially not someone who knew its inner workings. Consumed by delusions of betrayal, Frawty believed that Roger had stolen money and drugs and used that to fund his own venture. That belief, whether true or not, was all Frawty need. He issued a death sentence. So I saw it going on with these people involved in drugs. So this youth now in the run Frawty and him makes up. The only way him can make money to do what him do is just that him may operate on the side too. But Frawty don't want that. Frawty want everything to go through him. So on March 24th, 2025, Roger, see him, was in Kingston tending to repairs to one of his boat engines at a marine workshop. It was broad daylight around 5 p.m. when gunmen sent by Frawty's network pull up and unleash a barrage of bullets, cutting him down instantly. He never had a chance. He didn't even reach for his weapon. The men who came for him were not there just to kill him. They were there to erase him. The level of violence used was excessive and deeply personal. Witnesses say that even after Roger fell to the ground, the gunmen stood over his body and continued firing, ensuring that there would be no survival, no escape, and no message left but death. Over 40 bullets were found. His head was so badly mutilated that a closed casket funeral was the only option. So this was not just a hit, it was a warning to anyone who dare think that they could leave Frawty's empire, let alone compete with it. Roger Deacon murder is yet another name added to the long list of victims sacrificed at the altar of Frawty's ego, greed and obsession with dominance. It reminds us that criminal enterprises are built not just on drugs and guns, but on the blood of those who try to escape them. So when you step back and piece everything together, the calculated murders, the vanished bodies, the betrayal of trust, the empire built on drugs, guns and debt, it becomes chillingly clear that Samuel Dixon, better known as Frawty, was not just a criminal, he was the very embodiment of evil, a devil wrapped in a cloak of legitimacy, masquerading as a respectable businessman while orchestrating a reign of terror that left families shattered and communities scarred. To those on the outside looking in, especially those who benefit from his wealth, you would hear tales of generosity, charm and upliftment. His gas stations, car marts and auto businesses gave the illusion of a man who had made it through honest means. They'll tell you that he was a boss, a provider, a man who helped others put food on the table. But those who truly felt his wrath, those who lost daughters, friends, or loved ones at the hands of this paranoia and ruthlessness, Frawty was nothing short of a monster. Ask the families of Melissa Creary and Jennifer Swell, two young women whose only mistake was trusting the wrong man. Ask them about the sleepless nights, the unanswered questions, haunted memories. Melissa's body has never been found, swallowed by silence. Jennifer was gunned down at a family car wash, like her life meant nothing to their mothers, fathers, siblings and friends. Frawty wasn't a businessman. He was a butcher with a bank account. Evil has many faces, and sometimes it's wear ski masks and kick in your door. Other times it wears a button-up shirt, runs a company and shake hands in daylight. Frawty was the latter, a smiling devil who controlled empires by day and signed death warrants by night. His actions were not random. They were premeditated, surgical and sadistic. Those who choose to be close to him may still try to sanitize his legacy with stories of kindness and loyalty, but the narrative crumbles under the weight of the blood he spilled. You cannot balance out murder with generosity. You cannot erase the horror of his crimes with tales of charm. Evil is evil, no matter how polished the exterior. And Frawty was never a good person. And Frawty was the very definition of evil incarnate. So while some may mourn him, others breathe easier knowing that he can no longer send killers into the night. He was a devil in disguise. And no disguise lasts forever. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.